Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Joanna. I'm very pleased you guys here, and I'm very pleased to share with you these videos of wisdom. I call them Shantushi wisdom because Shantushi is my spiritual name, initiated in the ashram in Valmorin. In this video of today, I want to talk about ignoring your need of conversation. That's a very incredible form of abuse, a very powerful form of abuse, and a form of abuse that have the aim to nullify you and to destroy your identity and destroy your need of clarity, destroy your self-esteem and confidence. So let's talk about ignoring your need of conversation. What is this form of abuse? It could be intellectual or spiritual need of conversation, need of clarity, need of knowing where the other person is, need of solving a problem, need of knowing about a specific situation. This type of ignore, usually it has an aim to train you to stay in a brain fog, to train you to stay nowhere, to train you to stay off balance, and to train you to deny yourself clarity, honesty, deny yourself one of the most human needs on earth, conversation. There is nothing more beautiful than honest and truthful conversation. There is nothing more inspiring than intellectual conversation with another human being. This ignore could also be expressed as a refusal to listen to your ideas or intellectual interests, for example. Mock you for your beliefs. And so I'm gonna give you some examples that I have observed, how people usually manifest this ignore of conversation, because once again this is a form of communication, form of manipulation that aims to deprive you from healthy communication and make you feel like there is something wrong with you, make you doubt if what you want is so much, if you want too much, if that's really so heavy, is it too much that you want, is it too bad that you want. There is a different aims behind this. The biggest of the aims, I will call this, focus on dehumanizing you, because if I deny you the right of conversation, I am denying you a right of existence. Because if I choose not to address your need of conversation, I am starting to treat you on a very primal level as you are an animal, because animals are those type of beings that aren't able to communicate, and the only difference between humans and animals is the intellectual ability. And if I choose to deprive you from your intellectual abilities, it means I am choosing you to deprive you and strip off the humanity of you. Indeed, this is very cruel. And first form of executing this type of abuse or refusal is act like your need of conversation or questions are stressing me, or simply tell you, you're stressing me so much, I am getting used to you stressing me, you're so extremely stressful, you want too much, you're expecting too much. The second two is accusing you of wanting too much and trying to make you believe that desiring an honest and open conversation is way too much, that you have unrealistic expectation. Number three, this is my favorite because a lot of people do this. They are telling you that if you want a conversation or if you want clarity in the ways they behave or treat you, you want a relationship. A lot of people are crossing boundaries with accusing you to want a relationship simply because you want to have a conversation and you deserve to have an open and honest conversation. It does not mean that you want a relationship with someone. Because when you meet someone, you start to know them exactly through conversation, through communication, through sharing, through expressing the differences, through finding out what you like, what you don't like, what you dislike, what hurts you, what didn't hurt you, how you can solve a problem, how you can make situation working better. When an individual is refusing you a conversation, it's because they are refusing to let you be a human. And relationship, it doesn't mean being a couple. There are millions of ways to relate to a human. You can relate as an artist, as a writer, as a poet, as a barista if you want, as a pastry chef. I don't know, if you can relate to people as a, I don't know, person who is passionate about flowers, clothes, colors, designs, hair, makeup. There is a millions of ways to connect to people and build connection, which is not necessary being a girlfriend and a boyfriend. And yes, of course, if you speak to someone, if you speak to individual, you are building some kind of a relation. It's not necessarily a romantic relationship. It's not obligatory to be like fancy dating romance. It could be while you discover this person, you maybe discover that it's just better to be friends. There are a lot of things that in the beginning when we met someone we discover thanks to the communication, thanks to the sharing, thanks to conversation. We learn and we start to know each other in this process. And if a person refuses to give you this process, it means that they want to bring you to your primal existence. It means to bring you down to a dog level, to bring you down to an animal level, and never allow you to be a human. You expect too much. Another way to refuse having conversation is to refuse to address your questions. Simply, and it could be simple questions. Do you want sugar or do you want salt? Do you want sweet? Do you want ice cream? Do you want pancakes? I don't know, whatever. It could be a million and one ways to refuse to have a conversation with you. It's not necessarily we have a problem, we gotta talk type of discussion. It could be I'm gonna put a pause because there are some people coming, or different type of implications. For example, act like your need of conversation imply that you're pressuring them or pushing them for a very serious relationship that they're not ready for, or they don't know if they want, or they're not sure what they feel at this phase, that this is too early to discuss, this is not the moment, and so on. It's just a manipulation, and usually when a person is refusing to have a conversation with you, they are refusing to bring you clarity, and they want you to stay in a brain fog. Unfortunately, brain fog is a very unhealthy, unstable condition that will bring you to different unhealthy and unpleasant patterns, I would call unhealthy self-doubting moments, self-criticizing, insecurity, and confusion. Because you're like, I want to understand where this person stands. You want to know someone, you want to know better about them, you want to learn their preferences, and simply they refuse to have a conversation. This must show you that this person is unhealthy. Ignoring your need of conversation is a huge red flag, and it's a form of abuse, because more person ignore your need of conversation, bigger the need of conversation become. Because if you had one question and this person ignored it, now you're starting to question, even not only to be interested about the first question, but you're questioning what I'm doing with this person. If you don't want to know me, why even talk to me? If you don't want to answer my question, why know you any further? Why try to be your friend, or why try to know you, or why try to interact with you? What's the reason behind this? So you can ignore me more, you can refuse conversation longer and longer. If somebody trains you to ignore your need of conversation, it's because they want to train you to ignore yourself, and they want to train you to lower yourself and become smaller. Smaller in a way that you deprive yourself, if you choose to stay around this person, you deprive yourself from this need to conversate. You deprive yourself from intellectual connection, and when you do so, you will need someone else to have this intellectual conversation with. And if this is not your partner, or it's another person, you will soon find out that you are not so interested in this person, your partner, but you're more interested in the person with whom you're capable of having conversation. And you will start to see this deprival or refusal of conversation as a form of abuse, because it is a form of abuse, training you to abandon your intellectual need. When you abandon your intellectual need for someone, you will feel this bitter feeling of self-betrayal, and soon you're gonna feel like you don't belong, because you wouldn't belong, and you're gonna feel like you are growing bitter and upset because you're not receiving. Your intellectual needs are not met. And very soon, if you stay aware of yourself instead of being triggered of being ignored, you will realize that this person is actually not interesting to you, because this person has nothing to tell you. This person has nothing to share with you. But it's a subtle form of manipulation and abuse, and one have to stay very carefully aware and awake. You must stay awake when somebody does that to you, and why they do it to you. I believe that when somebody does that to you, it's always unhealthy. It's a waste of time to even try with this person. But I would love to read your stories below this video. So if you had any experience with someone who ignored your need of conversation, I bet it's usually in a situation where this person bitter you, or upset you, or was not very kind to you. How this relationship developed. Were you happy? Did you feel fulfilled? How this situation felt for you? I would love to read your comments below. And if you guys love listening to those videos with me, sharing my wisdom with you, sharing my thoughts and my impressions with you, you can press share, like, share, and subscribe. And do not forget to write me your comments below. I would love to learn everything about your situation when somebody refuses to have a conversation with you. Thank you for being here. Bye bye.